Hey there, Earthling and all my fellow microphone addicts. This is the Shure 565SD, and this is my review of the microphone. If you do want to check it out, it costs about $100. Links in the description. I did buy it with my own money. All of my recording settings will be listed in the doobly-doo as well as the description. And now let's talk about what comes in the box. You shouldn't be surprised, but you get the microphone, a microphone clip, a 5/8 to 3/8 inch microphone stand adapter, and a little bit of documentation. Then as far as the build quality, this thing feels absolutely fantastic, and I think it feels slightly better than even the Shure SM58. It has an all-metal chassis and a metal mesh grille with no give to it. On the side, you have a locking on-off switch. On the bottom, you have the XLR port, and whether you care or not, my microphone was made in China. I'm not going to read the specs to you, but I will have them listed in the description down below, and I'll also have them up on screen with the graphs in case you want to pause and take a closer look at any of them. Now I'm spinning around the 565 to 90 degrees to show you how it sounds here. Continuing around to 180 degrees, this is the rear of the mic. Continuing around to the second 90-degree angle, there we are, and then rotating and back on the front of the mic. Now let's see how this thing handles plosives about 3 inches off. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide prepared pizza pronto. And with my lips on the grill. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide pizza pronto. Please provide prepared pizza pronto pals. Now I am right on top of the 565 with my lips touching the grill, and here is how it's sounding. Now about 6 inches off of the mic with it pointed at the corner of my mouth, and here's how it sounds. Now about 1 foot away from the microphone, about 2 feet away from the 565, and about 4 feet away from the Shure 565SD. Now I'm typing on a Gateron Blue Switch keyboard to see how much of it picks up versus my voice. And gamers, here are the sad W and spacebar keys. Now here is how the 565 sounds about 3 inches from my mouth in a relatively well-treated room. And now here is how the 565 SD sounds about 3 inches from my mouth in a completely untreated room. Now let's see how effective the microphone and the mount are at rejecting shocks. I'll start by tapping on my desk to see if it can reject that. And then I will tap on the boom arm. Let's also see if the microphone has any kind of resonant frequencies when it's bumped. Obviously, this is also a handheld mic, so I need to test how it's going to reject that kind of noise. Although I don't recommend doing this, I am going to include a demo. Here's how the mic sounds with the grill unimpeded. And when I cup the grill, here is how it sounds. Sounds quite different. Here is how it sounds unimpeded again. And when I encapsulate it with my hand, here is how it sounds. Not good. Now let's do a quick spoken word comparison between the 565 and a bunch of other mics. This is the 565, 3 inches off, gain on the Universal Audio X8 at 51 decibels. Let's hear the first mic. Starting on the Behringer XM8500, I am 3 inches off, gain still at 51 decibels. This microphone costs about $20 to $30, and here's how it sounds compared to the 565. Back on the 565 again, here is a palette cleanser, nothing has changed. Let's hear the next microphone. Now I'm on the Shure SM58, 3 inches off, gain at 51 dB, 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. This microphone costs $100, and it's how the younger brother to the 565 sounds. Here is the 565 again. Let it clear out your ear holes, and here's how it sounds. Let's move on. Now I'm on the Sennheiser E835, 3 inches off, gain set at 51 decibels. This microphone also costs about $100. This should sound quite a bit brighter, but here is how Sennheiser sounds compared to the Shure. Back on the 565 for another palate cleanser, blah, 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 talk, talk, talk. Let's do some more. Now I'm on the SE Electronics V7, 3 inches off, gain still set at 51 decibels. This microphone also costs about $100. It is super cardioid as opposed to cardioid, and here is how this sounds compared to the 565. This is the 565. We are also recording 24-bit 48 kilohertz. Let's go to another mic. Now I'm on the AKG D5, 3 inches off of this with my gain still set at 51 decibels. This microphone costs about $120, and here is how this sounds from AKG compared to the 565 SD. I believe this is the midpoint palate cleanser on the 565. Let's hear another mic. Now I'm on the Shure Beta 58A, 3 inches off, gain still set at 51 dB. Make sure to check the lower third. This microphone costs about $150, and here's how it sounds compared to its slightly cheaper sibling. This is the 565, yap, 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 that's all I do. Yep. Now I am on the Mojave MAD, 3 inches off, gain at 51, 24-bit. 48K. It's like the worst rap song ever. This microphone costs about $180, and I'm embarrassed. Let's move on. Here we go. The auditory Q-tip is back, also known as the Shure 565 SD. Let's hear another mic. Now I'm on the Earthworks SR117, 3 inches off. Gain dropped to 41 decibels because this is a handheld condenser. This microphone costs about $200. It is relatively neutral, so we should hear the character of the 565 very clearly. That is enough talking on this microphone. Let's do more condenser. We have a handful more to go. This is the 565 to function as a palate cleanser. Let's go to another mic. Now I'm on the Shure Beta 87A. I am 3 inches off. Gain still set at 51 decibels, 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. This is a handheld condenser. It costs about $260. There you go. That's the Beta 87A. Let's do 2 more. And here's your penultimate palate cleanser on the 565. That should be enough talking. Let's go to that mic. Next, I am on the Neumann KMS105, 3 inches off, gain at 45 decibels. Check the lower third. This mic costs about $730 last time I checked, so quite a bit more than the 565, but there you go. That's the KMS105. And we have one more microphone to go, so this is your final palate cleanser on the Shure 565 SD. Let's jump to the final microphone right. Now I am on the Neumann U87 Ai. I am 3 inches off, gain dropped to 30 decibels, cardioid polar pattern, no pad, no filter. This microphone costs about $3,700, so about 37 times the price of the 565. So if I say anything, I will say this is a direct and fair comparison. Let's go to the music test. musician, I was only missing you. A cheese and pepperoni is all I need from you tonight. Honestly, after almost a decade, it is a missed opportunity that not a single pizza parlor has sponsored this channel. They could have made so much money. Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's. Fools. Let's go to the conclusion. All right, let's go ahead and conclude this jeune. I must say, I was really surprised how different the 565 sounded compared to Shure's other handheld dynamics. And first up, as far as pros, just like pretty much every single Shure microphone, the build quality on this thing is absolutely fantastic. And secondly, thanks to this massive treble boost, when you are right on top of the microphone, it still maintains a relatively clear sound. And then as far as cons, on the note of that massive treble boost, I find that once you get a little bit off of this microphone, 3 or more inches, that boost can be a little bit overwhelming because you don't have as much proximity effect to offset it. So in more of a studio environment, a little bit further from the microphone, I think that boost can be a little bit overpowering. And now, what are my overall thoughts and opinions of the Shure 565 SD? As far as the overall sound, I would classify this as a bright and trebly sounding dynamic. It does have a controlled low end, which works well for close miking. The mids are a little bit boosted in the upper range, but that kind of takes a back seat to what comes next. A massive boost in the treble range, which makes this very bright, very trebly, and very open sounding for a handheld dynamic. On the electric guitar, I think it's all right, but that treble boost is a bit much, and I found that it really picked up on every single string squeak. It just seems like that boost accentuates that nastiness on the guitar, so it's not my favorite for that application. On the acoustic guitar, yes, it is exciting, but again, I think that boost is a little bit too much. It starts to sound a little bit glassy or maybe just a little bit sharp. Not my favorite for that application either. And then we get to singing vocals, and that is my favorite application for this microphone. I think the treble boost is really flattering, especially when you're right on top of it, because it doesn't come across sounding too dull or dead. It still has a bit of excitement. And finally, for spoken word, I think this microphone comes across a touch on the sibilant side. It is very treble focused. I wasn't a huge fan of it at a distance of 3 or more inches. But when you are right on top of it, that treble boost maintains this comparatively clear sound compared to some other handheld dynamics. And to wrap up, would I recommend the Shure 565 SD? Both yes and no. I know there are going to be people out there who love how bright and trebly this thing is, and if that is you, I say go for it. I don't see any deal breakers with this thing because that's the sound that it's offering, and Shure builds really high quality mics. This is no exception, so if that's the sound you're going for and this is within your budget, I say go for it. But then as far as my personal preference, I don't love how bright this thing is because I record a little bit further away from the microphone, and I think that boost is a little bit overpowering, gets a little bit grating, and can be a little bit sharp and sibilant. So for my use in a studio, I would be leaning towards one of the other handheld dynamics that I compared it against, or maybe one of the handheld condensers if I wanted to stay in this form factor. But once we start looking at this for stage use, which is what it was designed for, I said this exact same thing in the Shure 8C review, that treble boost starts to make a lot more sense because once you get on top of it, you don't get an overly muddy and dark sound. It still sounds clear. So if you're looking for a stage microphone that offers a bit more treble than the other Shure handheld dynamics, but doesn't extend too far into the air frequencies, I think this is a really nice offering, and a bonus, it looks really cool, and if I'm not mistaken, this is Freddie Mercury's microphone, so double bonus points. Okay, bye.